in a second. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, hello. Hey, welcome everyone to the Wednesday Night Live show. I'm your host, John with Tim. Michelle and Lindsey is back. Allison will be back with us full time next week. Poor Phillip is sick. Hopefully he feels better. We got a full show for you guys tonight. First thing on our topics is 2017 to 2023 saw decline. Exclusive cigarette smoking rise in vaping. We have an article from the Tampa Bay Times. We should have had, Mr. Orlando join Lindsey tonight.
Hey, I'm still waiting for a response from him. So if he gets in that chat, answer my message, dude.
That guy is traveling all the time.
He's in the Capitol today. He sent me some pictures. So yeah, they're hustling. Florida just started their state session. So yeah. It's crunch time.
It's crunch. Yeah, Florida Joel reaches a $79 million settlement in youth marketing lawsuit, and then we have
Jesus. Sorry.
Then state legislators considering over 30 flavor bans and PMTA registry bills, and then another article about the CDC may hate it, but vaping is rapidly replacing smoking. Hello, everybody. I'm going to start with not Tim, because Tim lives that lavish lifestyle, that super rocker. We're going to start with Lindsey. Lindsey, how is your week going?
It's going really well, actually. A lot of things are happening. The future's so bright. I got to wear shades. I have no idea where I'm going to be at in about 6 months. But hey, I kind of like to live my life on the edge like that. So.
Yeah, everybody's dead. You guys are all busy right now. Even Tim up there. I know no one knows it, but Tim is actually Sebastian Bach, and he just pretends to be Tim Swift on the side for this show. But then he goes back and flies to Canada. Hello, California! We are scorpions. No, I'm kidding.
No, we are the youth. Gone.
Wow. That saying's from a different show, Trailer Trash Boys or whatever that show's called.
Trailer Boys.
Yeah, he does that scene in there where he yells, "Hello, California!" Michelle, how is your week going?
It's been a long one, but moving right along, thank God.
Sunshine, 70s.
Sunshine, it's been kind of nice. It really has. Yeah.
Welcome to Florida.
Florida.
I should show you guys. I should show you. I had to go to the DMV and change my address or whatnot. And I have my Florida ID from last year, and I got my new ID. My brother's like, "Yeah, your first one, you look like a tourist. Now you look like a Florida resident."
Yeah. When does the Florida man make his appearance in Florida? Is it about this time, or is he constantly?
What are you talking about? Where I live, I'm in Okaloosa County. Just go right on the road, in one of these towns at night, okay? And you see the people of the night doing really, really random stuff.
Yeah. Lots and lots of random things.
She's that too. Yeah, and then she's got more tourists than I do in my neighborhood.
Oh, man.
You guys,
you're lucky,
the college students have left now, right?
No, they're just getting here.
Oh, they're just getting there. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we got months of it now.
Tim, you ready? You can't go. You're a married man now. Never mind, Tim. Never mind.
No, I already had my fun in the sun back when I was a young buck there, John. So I did my tour of Daytona and Fort Lauderdale and all that fun stuff. But that doesn't mean I still can't go to Florida. I think I'm getting to that age, John, where I have a lot of empathy and sympathy for the people who have to live in Florida and still experience that. So, if you need me to come down there and regulate a little bit, I'll help.
Oh yeah, he is in charge of the HHS or whatever that thing is called there in Georgia. He can get those youths out, the youths like they were the youths.
I'm gonna come down there with my walker and compression socks and go up and lecture.
Oh yeah.
You'll fit right in.
I didn't realize you were in Georgia, Tim. I didn't realize you were that close to me.
Yes. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
north,
For some reason, I
north
thought
side
you were
of
in
you.
California. Okay. For that.
No, I did the California trip too, and unfortunately, unless you're in the old money or make a shitload of money, California, you can't even afford the mailbox in the front yard. So I got the fuck out.
Yeah. Hey Tim,
I
had a great week. I had a great week. I've got very little sleep, but I'm here, and that's been my week. Tim,
John, par for the course. I think we should all be very thankful he is awake and with us at this moment in time. So that is a small success for everyone. Well, how has my week gone? Well, business as usual, work. All the other things that go on in your life, I'm going to a beer fest this weekend. We've got a wine tasting on Thursday. Got to deal with the immigration system. But I guess I should tell the story as to why I was not present with all the wonderful people last week. I am officially now old. I have now reached. I think I got my old person card, and I don't know if I should cry or if I should rejoice, just because it reaffirms the fact that now I'm going to ask everyone to buy me Life Alert for my birthday. Because
I got an extra one.
Yeah,
reject it.
On Monday,
that's what I did. I just rejected.
The vape company should actually invest in some technology like that. Okay, yeah.
But Tim, you're not officially old. Now, if you answer this question with a yes, then you are. Have you officially put that little rubber pad on the bottom of your tub so you don't slip and fall?
No.
There you go. You're not old yet. You're not old yet.
I thought it was once you were officially signed up for AARP.
No,
that was the first step. Then the second step, no pun intended. I woke up. I get up kind of early, right? Because I have my job requires me to get up early, but I get up even earlier than that. So I have all these things I got to grab to come down the stairs. So I grabbed all my stuff, and I'm coming. I probably should have a backpack for everything I have to carry. And I'm coming down the stairs, and my brain never seems to turn off. And so I bought these cool little light things that I could magnetize to the side of the stairs to kind of light the stairwell up, because our stairwell is rather dark. And I noticed that several of them, they're rechargeable. Several of them were not working. So I'm like, oh, I guess I got to go get all the lights to charge them up. So I was not focused. I was off in technology land, and I got right to the second to the bottom of stair of the two tiers, and I overstepped. And you know what happens? My foot went right out from underneath me, and I traveled to the ground probably, 2.5, 3 feet. I don't know. It then felt more or less like what I imagine it would feel like if you just stood there, didn't brace, and asked like Mike Tyson to just punch you right in the kidney, without, just take a free shot. And that pretty much knocked the wind out of me. I thought I saw the lights. I thought I needed to go. And then I remembered the movie Poltergeist when the lady was, go to the lights, go to the lights. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. So I was writhing in pain. I woke up the whole entire house. My wife came running down the stairs to check on me. It was, definitely a triage moment, but I recovered. So yeah, I took a pretty nasty shot to the kidney, and I was kind of like in a slow recovery. So, but yeah, I made it. So I'm here. I haven't fallen down the stairs once this week. Yep.
So rock and roll.
Good. So yeah.
What Tim is saying, he officially needs to have
guardrails.
Yeah, guardrails installed in his home. It's what he's telling us.
You need the chair climber.
I'm gonna get that thing. Yeah, I'm gonna get the stair climber. I'm gonna get that thing that has a track
Hell
that
yeah,
attaches to your
hell
stairs.
Yeah.
You have a chair,
Yeah.
and you
Little
just
push of a
ride,
button.
you ride
and-
the chair slowly. Up the stairs.
Dude, I would just ride that up and down all day long, okay? Like,
All
oh, yeah,
day.
drunk, look at me go. Let me go down.
With a beer helmet on. I put a beer
Yeah,
helmet on.
For a helmet, okay? But I'm clumsy even sober, okay?
You gotta have the helmet on just in case you fall off. At least this way you have the helmet on. Oh man.
Because when you have those moments where you kind of slip down the stairs and but you catch yourself and then you're kind of relieved at the end of it all. You're like, oh my God, almost just killed myself. This was the other side of that.
Yeah, it's just a sign that your reflexes are getting a little slower. That's all. That maybe 20 years.
Nail once, okay, when I was like 7, I got a Harry Potter scar right here. I mean, you can't really see it, but I wasn't even looking, just went straight into a freaking nail. Boom.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
You're lucky it wasn't your eyes.
I fall down all the time, man. The way sometimes I get drunk, it could be really bad.
Yeah. I'm saying hello to some of the people. It really stinks that you can't see the comments on Instagram on the feed. I have to physically have another screen open.
You're on Instagram? God, I gotta get back into that game.
Yeah. And
THR is coming back, baby. I just gotta spend probably about 4 good weeks just really purging it and making it sexy again. So
yeah. I can't show. And there's a few people on there on the live there on the Instagram, and I wanted to say hello to Big Ricky because that was one of the first vape shops I went to. Switch to Vapor here in Modesto. They used to have the big bar, and they had that big giant book with 1,000 different flavors to choose from, and you got to sit down. This is the old days, guys, where you got to sit down and they give you a little tip. You know what I'm talking about. Don't get dirty out there. They give you some nice little drip tip that you could use, and you can sample all the different flavors. That was my first introduction to flavors, before because I started out, believe it or not, Zigzag was the mod that I had, was made from Zigzag, and the juice was from Zigzag as well. And they were little 5mm bottles. And that was,
I remember those.
Yeah. And I found Switch to Vapor, and I went there, and I was amazed by flavor. And I was amazed by, and that was my first look at how amazing a mixologist could get a flavor so close to it blew me away. It was like I felt like I was eating a cheesecake. It felt like I was eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. It was just amazing to me, and that started this whole craziness. Timmy, you know what time it is.
Yes,
and you know what, Tim, I'm going to give you music because we haven't used the music in a long time. So I'm going to scroll all the way down here and hit the duck thing, and it's called Feeling the Ducks. I don't know why it's called that. It's just called Feeling the Ducks. Here we go, Tim. And it's just a smooth jazzy.
I thought it was going to be the
R&B love making music. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah.
There you go.
I thought it was going to be the chicken dance song. But that's all right. I get the Barry White music. So with that said, I'm going to say this next line just like Barry White. You ready? Hey, everybody, and welcome to this edition of the Wednesday Night Live Show. Well, let's say hi to some wonderful people in the chat. Let's see who we got here tonight. Excuse me, let me clear my throat. We got Robert Lawyer. Robert. I need to give Robert a middle name, and it's not like Lawyer as everyone would know. But I should have a play on Lawyer. How about Robert? Not on a billboard. Lawyer in the house. What's up, Robert? How are you doing tonight, brother? Great to see you.
There you go.
Everybody knows
Mallory. Yeah, we got Mallory doing damn self dates in the house. Good to see you, Mallory. How are you? Wonderful to see you as always. Who else? I know we got some other wonderful people. We got Anthony, not Eric's brother, Estrada in the house. Eric, good to see you, brother. Not Eric. What am I? Anthony. Now I got my own self confused. This is what happens when you're blind. Who else we got here? Anthony, so wonderful to see you. We got We got Tom Morowitz in the house. I got to come up with a good one for Tom. Too.
Tommy.
Tom, yeah, well, yeah.
Just go Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy.
Tom, don't take this one personally. This is just the first thing that popped up in my head. So okay, so just I'm going deep back into the rack of some of my favorite movies. So all right, so it's Tommy, fat guy in a little coat. Yeah. Fat guy in a little coat. Morowitz, great to see you, Tommy. How are you? Anyway, I'll come up with a better Tommy Boy line. I'm sure I can like do the. There's a thing about the bull, remember? I don't know. He had like the little thing from his father that he always remembered. There was a saying. I'll figure it out. Don't worry. We got James, the resident pirate, in the house. Good to see you, James. Always wonderful to see you. Who else we got in here? Who else we got in this motherfucker? We got Microwave. Left you on 1 second oven in the house. Microwave. Great to see you. How are you, Microwave? Always wonderful to see you. We got Steve, the Emoji King, Tottenham with the puffs in the house. Good to see you, Tom. Good to see you, Steve. How are you? What else we got in here? Who else? Hold on. I know we got a few more. We got Michael Redfern. Now, I got to come up with one for Michael.
Mikey.
Well, Mike, his last name is a town in Australia. So,
in Australia.
Yeah, so I'll come back to you, Michael. Give me a second. My brain's a little. I dozed off in my chair before I got on the show. Everybody's probably wondering why I was 2 minutes, but 2 minutes before I got onto the show, I had to wake up from my chair. Anyway, we know Lindsey's here. I don't need to say hi. I could just say hi to Lindsey right there.
Lindsey. Lindsey's back.
Lindsey, not a tourist. Stroud in the house.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's a resident. She's a resident, man.
We got Jonathan in the house. Good to see you, Jonathan. How are you? Once I get to know your names, I'll start throwing middle names out for you. Who else we got? We got Jeffrey. I don't own a bear. ZampleBox in the house. Jeffrey. Always wonderful to see you. Not a bear. Not a bear. Who else we got in here? We got Sherman Yoder in the house. Sherman.
Sherman.
Jeff Barry.
There's Sherman. Yep. Well, we hope he's going to do that. So we're all crossing.
Sherman's his alter ego. You know, if you've ever seen him on Facebook, you know, he gets to jail quite often. Or used to.
We got Jonathan Pitt in the house. Good to see you, Jonathan Pitt. How are you? Welcome to the show. And that's it for right now. We got a wonderful crowd of 27 with their eyeballs on us. So everybody play nice. Everybody be nice. Be nice.
Hey, we're gonna go back to the old days. What is Tim vaping today?
Well, if you
remember those days, Tim, remember those days we just share when we were vaping. No one cared. No one cared.
Today it's the Fogger disposable with the Mexican mango e-liquid.
Of course, Tim.
And if I'm not happy with that, I just separate the two and I go somewhere. I get something else.
Yeah, another mango.
Exactly.
Yeah, Michelle. What is Michelle vaping? And it better be mango, Michelle. That's all I'm saying.
No, hell no. I don't want to vape old shoe leather socks. No.
That's what this is. Okay.
That's what it tastes like to me. Yeah. That's why I cringe every time I hear mango.
Yeah, mango.
Well, this is my old favorite. I always have it with me. It's the only one that I really use all the time.
Yeah.
And I've got this, which is
a lawmaker in the chat, guys.
And it is chocolate chip mint ice cream.
Ooh. My favorite
Very
ice cream.
good.
That
Very
sounds
good.
Favorite
Ew,
the best.
ew.
That's how I feel about mango.
Mango. Lindsey, what are you vaping?
I'm vaping one of those terrible disposables, but man, I really love the flavor. Geek Bar Sour Gush. It tastes like a pixie stick. It's a lovely, actually. My bodega doesn't usually have it carried, but they have like completely everything's like illegal. It's funny watching these guys.
Yeah.
They had just like a couple years ago when I came down here, they had like the display case on top of the counter, and then they turned around and did the whole like glass display case, and so now it's just a wall of vapes, like a vape shop at a gas station that sells 40s and stuff. Yeah. Servicing our lower end clientele, but hey, they need love too and access to goods.
I'm vaping the Geek Bar, and I think it's not mango, Michelle. It is
Good.
because they didn't have the mangoes was out, so I went with the lime berry orange. It's not bad. Very good. Very tasty. Very
Good.
tasty. Yeah,
Good.
mango, but I will get mango eventually. I will get
Oh.
mango. Mr. Tim, which
Okay.
article would you like to do first?
Well, I think I'm going to go in the exact order that you read them off, John.
Oh,
So as
you
not
are
to
the
confuse
best.
anyone, I don't want to start at the back of the list and work our
Yeah.
way forward. So we'll start with now. Hold on, John. Are we going to be able to get it right this time? Because the last one,
Yes, as long as
it
I
was-
keep that box as long as I don't hit that box over to the far, what would be my left, your right, I think. But as long as we don't open that box, we shouldn't have any issues.
Okay, hold on.
And then
well,
also, I will put the link that Tim is about to read in the chat as well. So if you guys want to go and check that out, that's Jim McDonald's Vaping 360, and good article. Jim Boy. We need to get Jim Boy
I don't
back
need
in.
to sign up for this website.
You hit the percent, Mr. Tim.
No, I know. I went. My point is that I opened the article and then all of a sudden it was like read your article for free. So that's why.
Oh,
But I think
do you have to? Yeah,
I think we're good. Hold on.
we're good. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, it's making me sign up.
Yeah, just
That
hit
was
the Facebook.
yeah.
Hit
I
the
hit that
Facebook.
too.
We'll
link.
come back to that. We'll okay.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Well, Jim's article is similar to that article. So if you want to, well, that is Jim's article, isn't it? The first one or no?
It will
The
only
vaping-
take a technology minute, John, if you can just bear with me. Now my page is going to be full with like everybody's going to think I'm playing like Farmville again because it's probably going to say that I'm reading articles.
Hey, it's better when
I need milk. I need hay, people. I need hay and I need milk. I need milk and hay.
I got some goats if you
I
need
haven't
a
checked
goat.
on my farm on my phone in a while. You're bringing. I got way too many video games on my phone though.
Yeah, I'm growing pot on my farm. Screw the system.
Well, you are in California, isn't that kind of what you?
We're allowed. We are in Stanislaus. Yeah, in Stanislaus County, we're allowed 6 plants, and they must be inside. Cannot do any outside growing.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, it's still going. It's thinking. It's thinking about this. All right, I can move on to the other one. While I'm waiting for it to log me into that.
Yeah, why
article,
don't you do
I'll-
that, Timmy? Yeah,
I'll
Timmy.
move on.
Can we share the JFN Photo Festival link?
How come you're having to subscribe for Vaping 360? You shouldn't have to.
No. This is the usnews.com 2017.
That's
That's the
number
one I
4.
had too.
That's number 4, though. You said you were going to go in
Right.
order.
Oh, you're right. Okay, fine. Let me present then.
Yeah. Are you smoking anything tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got in there? What wacky
There must be
It
something
must
in
have been that mango.
that vitamin E.
there.
It's
Okay.
good for
All
a
right,
few
John,
things.
do your thing, John.
Da-dum, da-dum. There it is. As long as we don't open that other box, we're cool.
Okay, story time, kids. It's story time. All right, so the CDC may hate it. We don't care if they hate it. But
Yeah.
vaping is rapidly replacing smoking. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I
it is.
wonder
right.
why, though. I wonder why.
So I didn't realize there was actually a table of contents, but we won't read that. We're just going to get right to the meat and potatoes of the article. A new report from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows that vaping has replaced cigarette smoking for millions of Americans since 2017. However, the CDC has chosen to ignore the massive health benefits provided by vaping for smokers who switch and instead conflate all tobacco use. So that's been going on for a decade now. The CDC Morbidity and Mortality Week report, MMWR, released March 6th, provides the facts, but the agency continues to create doubt among people who smoke about whether switching would be a positive change. It's just making me think of that thing that I saw on Twitter the other day where we had that congresswoman who was just spitting all kinds
Senator
of
Moody.
yeah.
Ashley Moody, yeah, from Florida.
And the nicotine content is just going up and up and up and up. Jesus, lady.
Moron. Sorry. She's a lawmaker. She can't help herself.
The agency
She knows better. She knows better.
Yes. The agency continues to describe vapes as tobacco products and claim that tobacco use is the leading cause cause of preventable death in the United States, but it is combustible tobacco and specifically cigarettes that cause nearly all tobacco death and disease. Non-combusted products, including e-cigarettes and smokeless tobacco, cause few, if any, health impacts. In contradiction to the video from the lady on TikTok that I shared to you guys, she's the one that was like, you know what happens to your lungs when you eat? You get pustules on the insides of your lungs. Jesus Christ. Like, whatever. I commented on the video and there was no comment back. So I don't know. I don't know if I shut her down or if she just ignored the comment. The CDC report compares use of vapes and various tobacco products from 2017 to 2023 based on the agency's annual National Health Interview Survey, NHIS. Use of each product and some combinations are broken down by age groups. I apologize if all of my impressions seem exactly the same for every person that I impersonate, but it just made me think that on the end of every impression I do of some idiot who wants to talk negatively about vaping and tell more lies, that I should add on, like, you know, and we're gonna get your little dog too, you know, like freaking Wizard of Oz crap.
Did you see my post? And it had them in it.
Did it? That's so frustrating.
It was for paid. Yeah, it was for paid.
At least I don't have to listen to Tahir Turk anymore. What a pud that guy is. From 2017 to 2023, population prevalence of exclusive cigarette smoking fell 27%, from 10.8 to 7.9. In population terms, that means a decline from 26.6 million exclusive cigarette smokers to 19.8 million. Did 6.8 million cigarette smokers quit smoking cold turkey? Or did they switch to other products? Exclusive use of other forms of combustible and non-combustible tobacco.
Don't you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exclusive use of other forms of combustible and non-combustible tobacco either rose or fell at insignificant rates. Cigar use was up from 1.9 to 2.0. That's because it's getting warmer and more people are playing golf. I don't know. That's a lie. Pipe use, well, you go out on the course. Everybody's out there puffing on their stogies. 1.9 to 2.0. Pipe use was down. I didn't even know pipe use was still a thing. It's
becoming a thing here. Yeah, it's becoming a big thing here.
I go walk around the pipe, actually. There's something distinguished, Sherlock Holmes-y about it, you know?
My dad used to smoke a pipe, so I just...
Better tobacco, too, and if you're looking at, like, with the CDC, like, with the FDA is actually authorizing, when you're seeing, like, these orders, you'd be surprised at how much tobacco, like, that type of tobacco gets actually authorizations over the years, recent years.
Right.
It's just, you just don't see it. You know,
and it smells better. It smells better than
I completely enjoyed the smell. My dad used to work for a tobacco.
Yeah, it smells amazing.
You guys like to smell cigars?
Nah,
I do.
I have one a week. That's about it.
I like the smell of cigars. I worked at a country club, and the ladies would always complain about the men. They'd be like, it smells like a cigar. Well, go somewhere else. I don't know what to tell you. It's a freaking country club. What do you expect?
I've indulged, but you know, after it lingers for a while, it just starts to kind of wear on you. You know.
You make a nice blunt out of them too. So
that's what actually. Sorry to interrupt. Quick story though. I knew one of the guys who went to go work for one of the cigar associations, and I've known him for years. And so I'm sitting there talking to him. We're doing lunch, and he's like, "Yeah, did you know that like 80% of like cigars they don't even smoke the tobacco?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, they're called blunt." Like, what? And I was like, "Wow, you're the wrong person to be running this company." I gotta give you school you on the street lingo.
The multi-used,
sorry, Tim.
No, it's fine. It's fine. But interesting to see that pipe use was down. I kind of feel like that's been on the decline over the decades. And smokeless tobacco was up from 1.3 to 1.4, but none of those small changes contributed significantly to the massive decline in exclusive cigarette smoking. Vaping is another story. From 2017 to 2023, exclusive vaping among adults increased from 1.2 prevalence to 4.1%, or from 2.9 million users to 10.1 million. The smoking decline almost perfectly aligns with the vaping increase. Well,
200, it's actually for that increase too, because when the op-eds I wrote, I was looking at it, it's a 241% increase from 2017 to 2023.
Right. I mean, well, but I think for me to see these types of numbers, because we're specifically addressing, well, they're not really saying specifically adults, but what I would say is I'm encouraged by the fact that, you know, when we spent so many years with people hearing such negative connotation about vaping and, you know, and all of the BS lies and the nonsense that were out there, that people were actually scared to vape just because they thought it was worse than smoking. So to see that people are starting to ignore that messaging, could that be because we're starting to learn? Well, I think what we're starting to learn as a culture is that you have to be more of a critical thinker these days. And, you know, I commented on a post on X where it was something more political, but, you know, they were like, oh, that person's lying. And I'm like, he's lying, she's lying, they're lying, you know, like everybody's lying. So it would just seem that nobody tells the truth. So I tell you what, I'm just not going to believe any of you. But my point is that you have to kind of do your own research and you have to find the truth on your own, whatever that manifests into at the end of it all. You know, that's great. But I just think that more people are starting to ignore the blather and the noise was my point.
Yeah. Also, I want to emphasize too for people watching that this survey that the CDC released, they're only looking at exclusive vaping use. They're not looking at the percentage of the population that is dual users, which I know some of that was using the National Institute, like what was the survey that they used on that one? Hold on. National Health Interview Survey is what they used for this report. But yeah, what I see with the Burfus numbers that you're finding about usually around 30% of them are former smokers or former people who smoke. I know 50% of them are still currently smoking. So these numbers are kind of impressive, but it's also, I know with Burfus, in 2023, it was 7.7% of adults who were vaping. That was just vaping. It didn't matter if they were using cigarettes. And, you know, I was just want to emphasize that these numbers are still, even though they're giving us some insight on numbers, these numbers are still wonky and they're not, our taxpayer funded government health agency is not giving us the full fuck it. They're not giving us the fucking picture. So
I have a question.
Lindsey, you got to put 25 cents in the swear jar.
Okay.
Well, then I'm broke. I think I've
somebody's gonna have to start a GoFundMe for that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question for Lindsey. Are there any specific studies that look at dual use individuals and figure out the percentage of people that might go one way or the other? Like how many people are dual using, fall back into smoking versus how many transition?
Oh God, no, not with these, because you don't really have any longitudinal studies. It's in the base. Like one of our best studies that we have is Pelosa's one that I'm looking at COPD users, that he's been doing that one for like almost like a decade now or whatnot. And even him to be able to even retain, you know, to do that long-term survey, it's where I really wish that, like, you know, manufacturers and retailers would be doing more on consumer survey stuff themselves at this retail level, because that's where you're going to be able to collect a lot of your data and also start to see usage patterns among people. Because at that point, you can also identify this person just by tagging their ID.
Yeah.
So every time that they come in and buy, I mean, they don't even have to freaking, you know, buy, especially the retailers. That would be the fun one. The actual like C-stores that are selling all the disposables, to actually watch their customers go. Because I ask them all the time. I was like, how many people do you have that are coming in here that used to buy cigarettes? And they were like, all the time, which is great.
I got a question for everybody on this panel, because you know, I was looking at these numbers and I was kind of curious to when it was its highest smoking rate here in the U.S. and it goes back to 1965, where it was around 42%. It was 42% of the population was smoking in the U.S. That's
still high.
Let me, the reason I bring this up is I would like to get your guys' input on what do you think, other than vaping, has caused that decline? Is it just more education, social media? What other aspects have drawn that number so low to where it is today at what? Like, I think it's 14%. What did they say it was? 18?
Well, you got a lot of parents who don't smoke anymore either. So that they actually, there was a study done years ago that they talked about that. That's probably what led to more of a greater decrease in smoking rates, is that you have a whole, especially among youth too, you have a whole generation that, they're not being exposed to cigarette smoke at home. Sorry,
Right.
Michelle.
Right. No, you're fine.
Yeah.
My question, I had another question for you. I have two questions actually. For the vape, for the study, are they talking about just vape, or are they including THC vape, or
Didn't
do you
mention
know?
that. Didn't mention.
Yeah,
I'm assuming that they probably, because I know with Burfus they don't include THC vape. It's the way that they questioned the way, and like when they do that, they get a survey. You're getting called or whatnot. But I don't think they're including THC vape. I think this is all exclusive nicotine.
Yeah,
vapes.
exclusive nicotine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what about like the kids that are just hitting a vape for a party for one night every 5 months?
Oh well, that's what we do past month for the adult stuff too. So I mean, I don't think they've really broke it down. I know the Burfus will actually be vape every day, or if you vape on some days, but a current vape user is considered, any time in the past 30 days.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
A whole different category.
And they also do something with cigarettes too. Like I know with Burfus, and it's probably the same thing with a lot of the surveys that I've seen, that they do this in order to establish that this person's a person who smokes. You've had to have smoked like over 100 cigarettes in your lifetime.
Right.
So yeah. Another thing, when they're talking about kids, they never even ask that. Like a kid could be a currently smoking, and they literally hit a cigarette. They only hit cigarettes at parties.
Yeah.
Right.
Situation. And then the increase in smoking rates in the 90s, I blame that on grunge. That's all. Go ahead, continue.
Well, no, I wanted to answer your original question, John, and what my opinion was of why I think the smoking rates have fallen. I also think it's a shift in the population in terms of kind of like vaping in a weird way, where it's like it's just not cool anymore to smoke. You know what I mean? It's like, people tend to frown upon you, or your friends around you are like, bro, that's not cool, or whatever. I'm not saying it's peer pressure. I just think that as a trendy element in lifestyle, I just think that it's not as popular as it used to be. It seemed to be more par for the course for us. When I was a kid and a teenager, it just seemed like everybody was smoking, or they were, doing it for a little while, and it just we all kind of got, here, let me try that. And so, and it just, but my dad was a smoker eons ago. He quit smoking a long time ago. So I was never influenced by my parents because they never smoked around me. It was more just teen angst and stuff like that kind of headed me that way. All right, let me.
Wow, yeah. See, that 1990, an estimated 89.9 million U.S. adults were smokers. See, I tell you, it was grunge. Grunge did it. Grunge music brought the smoking back.
Everybody was depressed.
It's still high. And
I'm going to blame Nirvana. All
right. Deceleration among youth.
Kurt Cobain.
It's all Kurt's fault.
Come on, it's Courtney Love. Come on, everybody wants to look there.
That's true.
It was a rebellious thing to do.
Teen spirit, baby. Teen spirit.
More young people vape than smoke, but vaping increased in every age group. We've known at least since the 2018 Gallup poll that vaping has overtaken smoking among Americans under age 30. The NHIS data confirms that and shows just how thoroughly vaping has displaced smoking among adults under 25. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, exclusive cigarette use dropped from a population prevalence of 6.5% in 2017 to 1.2 in 2023. That's a big fat drop. Exclusive vaping increased during the same period from 2.7 to 10%. I don't know that they needed the period after the 10, but that's okay. Fewer than 1 in 80 adults under age 25 now exclusively smoke cigarettes. Fewer than 1 in 80 adults under the age 25 now exclusively smoke cigarettes. The gains do you think any of that's contributable to demographical stuff? Like, I wonder if like smoking's fallen out in like the middle class kind of average kid and maybe smoking.
Well, it has. If you look at people who, I do the breakdown or whatnot. Yeah, people who smoke. Actually, the one big determinant of whether someone who's going to smoke or not is whether they have a college education. Smoking rates among college graduates are pretty freaking non-existent, actually. So, hey, Democrats, there you go. Pay for college for free, and you can eliminate smoking.
Which is shocking because
I'll tell you, when I look at the numbers, because I have them up in front of me right now for the Burfus, looking at like all of the states or whatnot. I have for 2023, 5.6% of young adults, 18 to 24-year-olds, were smoking that year. That's down from 10 years. That's down from 23.5%. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a significant decline. And that literally, and it starts dropping. When I look at these numbers, they start dropping, in 2016. It's actually 2014. It went from 2013, it goes from like 23.5%, and then it goes down to 18.2%, 16.9, 15.3, 14, 13, 11, 9.4, 7.4, 7.3, 5.6. Wow. And that's literally boom, Juul.
Yeah.
Are you Juul?
I mean, the kids are going to be tech savvy too, especially those guys. They've all grown up with computers. They've all grown up with a cell phone attached to their hand since they were like 3. I think they're more active. Fire. That's like caveman stuff.
Do you think
that might go back unpopular?
Do you think the cell phone replaced the cigarette? That's possible. You have something in your hand, always constantly looking at it. You don't need the cigarette in your hand.
Instagram too. When you talk about
I am kind of surprised by the college student. Well, let's just go 18 to some kids stay till 20, 25. I mean, like that used to be the thing. It was like if you weren't a coffee drinker and you weren't a smoker, when you got to college, you became a coffee drinker and you became a smoker. And it's just kind of neat to see that number dropping in that demographic. Like they're finding other things to get through school. I mean, let's be honest, going to college is stressful, and I can see where someone would start smoking because they're doing finals and doing term papers and doing all that kind of.
More people who smoke as well. You're going out to clubs and everything, and so you're being more exposed to dangerous things, and especially if you're coming from like small town America.
Yeah.
Like
No, that's pretty good. Because you think too that the reason smoking rates have dropped at that age, also those are the kids. Those are the kids that are just now getting to go to bars, and now they're not having to go to a bar where there is smoking anymore, like we did. You went into a bar. You had a beer. You had a cigarette.
I miss smoking in restaurants. Sorry.
We know.
Protected from secondhand smoke.
Well, have there been Well, Mallory brought up an interesting point. The one that John's sharing now, saying in the military, soldiers live on caffeine and nicotine. Are there any studies done on military individuals?
Military numbers.
Actually, it was one done in 2018. Then you actually saw the numbers where you actually saw a greater decrease in smoking rates among military members. Then you saw a higher usage of e-cigarettes. And of course, that's 2018. So that survey got buried somewhere. But I included it in my booklet. Teacher 101. Speaking of which, I should have grabbed a copy. Somebody had to think. I don't know if she's watching, but Cheryl sent me some copies of that booklet, so I finally got a copy of it. And I was checking it out today.
My son said there were some really on edge guys in the subs that were just having to deal with 3 months being underwater without a vape pen or a cigarette.
And that's probably one of the better things too with like Zen and oral nicotine pouches is that like they can do that on a sub. I mean, even though they're going to probably ban it and everything because it's federal government, but those guys were sneaking friggin' hits on their vape. There's no way in hell that they were.
Now he said that coffee consumption went up when they banned cigarettes and vaping on subs. Coffee pot was never empty. It was constantly being remade. Coffee.
A lot of toothpicks and a lot of gum, I imagine too.
But I would agree with Robert on his comment. I wonder. I would say just if I look in my own social element around me. I mean, it's not unusual for, to even just go out somewhere to a restaurant and just see how many people are with somebody else and they're on their phone all the time.
Oh, God.
But even get to the level of being around my friends who have kids, and like all the kids, like they're all just glued to tablets and phones and that whole echelon. And it's just like, oh my God, they never look up. Like they're like, they don't even know what's going on in the world. And I'm not trying to be critical of parents. I mean, you want to occupy your kids, but yeah, it's like, and you even see negative reaction from these kids. Like they get attitudes and stuff, and they kind of are grumpy and stuff because they're like, they didn't have a good, Fortnite mission or something.
Well, hey, who hasn't drove back to their home to get their phone because they forgot it?
Hey, I lost my cell phone on a kayaking excursion one month last year and stuff. I was a little bit intoxicated. I'll tell you, it took me a week to actually, after like the first day of like freaking out and stuff, I got onto the only thing I was more concerned with was playing my video games, my games. So I just downloaded them onto my tablet, and I was like, I can still communicate with people. I got WhatsApp. I go email somebody. I can hit them up on Facebook. I don't actually need the cell phone.
All Lindsey's crops died. All Lindsey's crops died on farm.
I haven't checked out my farm in a while. I totally forgot about that game. But the other day, everybody who doesn't know, I'm no longer, with TPA, kind of going through a career change right now. And I was so stressed out. My brother's like, turn your freaking phone off. And so I did. And I'm sitting there waiting for him to do something. I was like, okay, I just can't sit here. I was like, I'm going to walk around the freaking block or something. I just can't sit there and just not do anything. And it's like, okay, maybe you need to start working on this because this isn't healthy at all.
It is. It's crazy.
Yes, Robert, it's very codependent. Yes.
Yeah, we all are with those phones.
All right. Continuing on, the gains among older age groups are less dramatic, but even more encouraging. For perhaps the first time, Americans over 30 are using vapes to quit smoking at a significant rate. Among those aged 25 to 44, exclusive smoking fell from 12% to 7.6%. Exclusive vaping among that same group climbed from 1.5 to an impressive 6.1. Well, the numbers are kind of they kind of match, right? Like the downturn and the upturn here. An increase of over 400% in the vaping population for that age group. Among 45 to 64-year-olds, hey, our group.
Hey, that's us.
Exactly. The population that exclusively smoked fell from 13.2 to 11.2. I don't know. That just seems relative. It just seems like generational change.
We're stubborn. We're stubborn sons of bitches is what we are. Yeah.
While the vaping group climbed from 0.8 to 2%. Among those aged 65 and older, exclusive cigarette smokers increased from 1.1 of the population to 1.5, but the vaping group also doubled from 0.3 to 0.6. So that means more older people are finding vaping, which is good news. But it's interesting that the smoking prevalence did go up a tad. So does that mean somebody 64, 65 and up started smoking?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
Well, actually, it's not really that. It's because the population shifts, and as people get older, they're now in that age category.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. So they moved out of the previous.
Yeah. Don't even get started on that. I have to cross-reference actual population numbers with the 50-state analysis, so I have to go through like just the basic population numbers. 65 plus scares the living crap out of me. Okay, especially when you're watching 18, 24 kind of decrease, and 65 plus. I mean, they're going to end up. Give it about 10 years, they're going to end up making 1/3 of the freaking population. And that's frightening. That is so frightening. Oh my God. It scares me. They're going to have to go Logan's Run style at some point. In this
I remember that show.
I've been advocating it for years, okay? Even before the COVID came out, I was like, look, Mother Nature even agrees with me on this one, dude. This is not sustainable at all.
Yeah, they better have lots of mango available.
They're 65 plus years old. Who are all the old people in Walking Dead? Oh, yeah. No, they get eaten by the zombies first.
Yeah. We're the first to go. Yeah.
Certain demographic in a horror movie. Okay.
It's the 30-year-olds pushing us out the door. Eat them first. Eat them first.
Millennials, it's people like me that got shafted. We got the recession, we got crazy college costs, we got COVID, and we're gonna go down as like the silent generation 100 years from now.
Yeah. They're gonna go that those millennials and those Gen Xers or Gen Zers, the Gen Zers and the millennials.
Gen Zers will be fine. Honestly, I think they're gonna be the ones that go to war, so they're gonna go down as like the greatest generation. I mean, history repeats itself. So.
Yeah.
That's very true. All right. So in the last two age groups, the gains are not as eye-popping, but bear in mind that during the early years of vaping, older Americans almost entirely rejected vaping. From 2017 to 2023, the portion of the population that exclusively vaped climbed among every age group. And now on to the good old CDC. The CDC refuses to acknowledge the obvious. The CDC scientists continue to downplay the benefits of vaping for people who smoke, and this paper includes more of the typical obfuscation about non-combustible nicotine use. The MMWR authors bemoan. What was the word from the last one? Remember the word from the articles?
Yeah.
I can't. I'm trying to think of that word now.
I can't remember it either.
I thought you were going to go Fast Times at Ridgeline
High. No,
Ramon.
there was a repeating term in all of the articles. It was
hey,
like,
Ramon, you got those tickets? No, I'm kidding.
Exactly. Beseechers or.
I want to bring up something about older Americans to add to this because it's actually really interesting. Because again, I have these numbers for the states. South Dakota had 14.1% of 65 plus that were vaping. Again, this isn't exclusive vaping. This is just vaping. West Virginia, 12.4%. Tennessee, 12%. Oklahoma, 11.8%. I'm just looking at this, and I know the numbers too. It looks like the states that have more people that are adults that are older that are vaping are the ones that are, no, that's smoking. Sorry, crap. Let me go through my vaping numbers. Sorry, scratch all of that. I'm like, wait, this isn't making sense.
Do-over.
I do-over. Hold on, I gotta go find this.
I got a button for that somewhere.
I have a whole new setup as I was explaining to people, and I can't see. I gotta move this camera. Okay, let me open this back up. All right. Sorry.
I'll give
You're
you
okay.
He can keep reading. It's gonna give me a second to go find it.
We'll get started. We'll just continue until Lindsey finds the numbers. CDC scientists continue to downplay the benefits of vaping for all people who smoke. Oh, I got that far. The MMWR authors bemoan use of all tobacco products, as though all are equally hazardous. That's a lie. During 2017 to 2023, the approximate 6.8 million person decrease in the number of adults who currently exclusively smoke cigarettes was offset by an approximate 7.2 million person increase.
Such freaking crap on that one.
Yep. And the number who currently exclusively use e-cigarettes, says the paper's summary. You good? You got your numbers?
I'm putting them together right now. Oh my God. These numbers are terrible. Especially when you're comparing them to the smoking numbers.
I'll get to a gap. The implication of offset is that the growth of vaping has canceled out what might have been a major health dividend, and that former smokers haven't dramatically improved their health immediately and reduced their long-term health risks by switching from cigarettes to vapes.
We don't know that, by the way. That there is nothing in that article that sat here and said that all these e-cigarette users were formerly smoking. There's nothing in that article that points toward that. The only thing that you can infer from that you have a decrease in people smoking and an increase in vaping, but that does not explicitly actually sit there and say that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't even think they asked the question on that. Did you? I mean, every time, and I think I do more research than the CDC does. Every time that I see a stranger vaping, I'm like, hey, did you use that to quit smoking? Because I'm more curious about it. And I would sit here and say, when I'm asking anybody who's older, overwhelmingly, like 99% of them, or once in a while, you get somebody who had quit smoking years ago, and then they came back, they're now they're vaping. Yeah. Young people, I'm seeing with young people, they never smoke. But then where am I meeting these young people at? I'm meeting them at bars. They're smoking weed. Okay, I mean, it's probably they were gonna do something. It's better that they're doing this. I mean, and that's still decreasing as well.
Right.
Even though they're not mentioning between 2022 and 2023, you did see a decrease in young adult vaping. And that wasn't coupled with an increase in smoking.
Right.
So they're just quitting it and not moving on to anything, or they're moving on to nicotine pouches, but nobody really asked those questions that well, and they put it into smokeless. So
True.
sorry, rant over. Louisiana had the highest rates of adult 65 plus vaping with 2%.
Louisiana. Well, that kind of, but that sort of falls in line with the information that we've known for quite some time, that the demographics can also play a big role in that.
But it's weird on them. Like it's Louisiana, Oregon, Texas, Arkansas, and Hawaii are all in the top, the top 5 or whatnot and stuff. Yeah, they didn't even make the top 5 at 65 plus with the smoking, as far as that, you know. So, right. I mean, it's unfortunate, actually. I mean, that the misinformation that, you know, we have this tool, and that it just feels like, I mean, I shared it on Twitter, this op-ed that I wrote in 2016, and I'm like so upset about it because it's like nothing has changed, and it's more telling on our side as much as it is on the other side too. That you know, this op-ed is still applicable. It's applicable today as it was back then.
Yep.
Sorry, it pisses me off. Okay.
No, it's very frustrating, and I agree once again with Robert in that. I think that's just that's something we all collectively would love if we could detach the one from the other. It's unfortunate that politicians, you know, allowed that to kind of be grouped together, because it's completely different, but the optics are that it's the same because they don't understand it or they don't know it.
It's not
and
only
the
that they do. This is okay. So that all goes down to the gaming regulations. E-cigarettes are tobacco products. Yep. They're classified as such. I mean,
unfortunately,
if you want to change that, you're gonna have to change the freaking T. Well, you could go dismantle the deeming regulations, but why start out small? Dismantle the whole freaking Tobacco Control Act. It really doesn't favor harm reduction. It favors combustible cigarettes. Just look at how many products have been authorized using, you know, the cigarette pathway versus the 34 e-cigarette products that have been, you know, FDA greenlit. Right. But in front of the reminder, that's the agency that approved OxyContin, okay? And look at the whole, you know, fentanyl shit.
Yep. Nope. Got a very good point. Very good point right there.
Sorry, guys, yeah, I'm allowed to sit here and say all that now.
Cigarette smoking among U.S. adults has declined from 42.4% in 1965. I wasn't even a gleam in my daddy's eye in 1965.
No, you were just floating around in a ball pack.
I was a consideration at that moment.
My dad was like 15.
Your dad was like, should we let him out? Should we let him out?
But that declined down to 11.6% in 2022. They write in the paper's opening line, however, tobacco use remains the leading cause of preventable death. No, that's wrong. Smoking is the leading cause of preventable death. And the CDC's refusal to clearly explain the difference between smoking and not smoking endangers the lives of almost 20 million Americans.
What does leading cause of preventable death mean? Because I mean, I'm so sick of hearing this. Like, and I don't even trust some of these numbers anymore, because it's like, what? Smoking's responsible for 20% of deaths. So that's what they were saying in 1990 when a third of the population was smoking. Now you got like 13% that are smoking. So how is it still responsible for 20% of deaths when it's so much less people? And also, leading cause of preventable death, does that mean, oh, you're pretty much guaranteed to die if you do this? Or is it, oh, this is what's killing the most people? Because something tells me like obesity should be more of, you know, I think, oh, there's a lot of money to be made in obesity. Oh, you have a couple heart attacks, you get diabetes, you're on medicine for the rest of your freaking life and everything, all the associated stuff on there versus, oh, you get lung cancer, you die. We can't make any money off of you anymore.
Yep. I think that, to me personally, that's like the most shocking element of it all is just the fervor by which the government and legislators and all the other people who are positioned to want to take vaping down, is they completely ignore the fact that the other product that I mean, we might not be able to eradicate it, but they have nothing to back up, or they have no evidence. They have no information to say that something horrific is going to happen because of vaping. They just sort of like make it so, like, if you vape, you're going to die. And we don't have one death on our hands. Whereas on the other side, we still get 500,000 people dying.
We have a couple deaths on our hands. Okay. I mean, there've been battery explosions and things like that.
Right.
But not from.
You know, those are kind of like, you know, they're the, you know, exception, not the rule. But I mean, I try to think as a scientist, so I try to never use absolute terms ever on stuff. I mean, that's reserved for your husband, and even that's debatable sometimes. So,
Yeah. I mean, there should be. We got
Yeah.
we got a lot to worry about. I mean,
you know, but,
we're paying $36 for 2 dozen eggs. Come on, man. We got a lot to worry about.
oh God, don't even get me started. I'm not. We can't go into this. It's gonna delve to way too crazy of a conversation.
We're gonna transition the topic of the show to cholesterol. We're getting off the vaping topic. We're going right to cholesterol and hypertension.
The good state of Vermont will not apologize for its cheese. Sorry.
All right, so John, I was
I like to stir things up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Good, nice little nugget there, sir. I actually now have a valid free subscription to the U.S. News article, so that one's kind of short. We'll go to that one next. Present.
Welcome to U.S. News.
Yeah. So this is what all the hubbub was about right here. This little news out. This little rag right here. U.S. News. All right. Let me make that a little bit bigger because I fear. Lindsey said the future is so bright she got to wear shades. For me, the future is so bright I got to wear plus 275s just to read these articles. So,
hey, my brother has he had a like cross-eyed and they screwed it up when they did the surgery to correct it, and his he's got like Coke bottle glasses. He can't even wear contacts.
Oh,
yeah.
That'll be my next line to cross is I just want to get these stupid readers off my face. They're on my head all day long.
LASIK, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's actually quick. You get the one that they do in the military. It's a quick procedure. You go in one day, they do that one eye. You go in the next day, they do the other eye, and like 2 days later, you're good. You're seeing again.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Here's the keys to a tank.
All right. And how many people want to put some money on the fact that Getty Images manufactured this picture?
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
What young person uses an open tank system anyway?
And one that old.
Yeah.
Look at it.
That's like a K-Fun. I think that's a K-Fun.
It looks like almost like a Nautilus tank.
Yeah, an Aspire.
Yeah, Aspire tank. All right. So Tuesday, March 11th, 2025, Health Day News decreases in exclusive cigarettes, but this is very similar to the other one. Decreases in exclusive cigarette smoking and increases in exclusive electronic cigarettes use were seen among U.S. adults from 2017 to 2023, according to research published in the March 6th issue. This is the same thing. They're referencing.
You don't have to read this one because it's basically Jim's article. I think he
elaborated.
More. I think he pieced his article off of this one.
And well, you said 4. Is there a 4th article I should be aware of for the show tonight? I only have 3.
You only have 3 in there? No, there should be 4. I'm looking at 4. There's a U.S. News Weekly, and then there's one. And then the Jim's.
And then you don't need to read the state legislative update. I already kind of know.
Yeah, the 30 senators thing. I think you mentioned
number 2, the Tampa Bay one. That should be number 2.
Okay, all right. We'll move on. We'll move on to that one. Let me
move on to that one.
Right, so hey, false alarm, people. We're not going to read that second one. All right, but we're going to read this one. And so you need to tell me, John, I went through all that pain and agony to get access to that article, and I didn't even get to read it.
You now are U.S. Weekly.
Oh, you're now in the system.
Yeah, I feel cheated. All right, this is the one. All right, here we go. All right, hit me up, John. Here we go. All right.
Boom. Hit me up, Scotty.
Make it bigger. Make it bigger. There you go.
That's what she said.
Yeah. So your mom said.
All right. So shocker, Juul reached a $79 million settlement in the youth marketing lawsuit. They were kind of like on a roll. They were like paying millions of dollars.
Do they have any money left, Tim? Do they have any money left?
I want to know how they even have money at all. I mean, their products are in the EU because of the NIC level and stuff, and they play by the rules. I mean, I don't really see a lot of people. I haven't seen anybody use a Juul in years.
Yeah,
and also, I used to like Juul, especially like going in places, like airplanes and stuff. And a couple years ago, like I bought a couple, and like every time I bought one, it just didn't work or whatnot. Yeah. And I was just like, yeah, this is a crappy product. Like, this is really coming from China now.
Yeah.
They're still popular here, but I'm sure they're not real Juuls.
Yeah. I heard they were more popular on the East Coast than they are on the West Coast, Jewel.
Oh, I believe it. I even though they came out of the West Coast.
Yeah.
Can't even sell in your own neighborhood. Yeah, go away. Go away.
I mean, is anybody even buying Juuls anymore?
They're Stanford grads. They're Stanford boys.
All these darn pop-ups on this article. Go away. Thank you. All right. Well, we'll scroll down. So, Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer said $30 million will go towards enforcing nicotine and vaping laws.
Sure it will.
All right.
Sure
So Florida has reached a $79 million settlement with Juul Labs after a lawsuit alleging that the electronic cigarette company marketed its products to children. Attorney General James, he's a general. Well, he's an attorney general. Attorney General James Uthmeyer. Here we go again. I can't read Tampa Bay Times. Thank you. Announced Monday in Tampa. Uthmeyer's predecessor, now U.S. Senator Ashley Moody, filed the lawsuit in 2023 in Hillsborough County Circuit Court. The settlement said the money will be paid over 7 years, with $30 million going to what Uthmeyer dubbed the Vape Free Florida Fund to help in the enforcement of nicotine and vaping laws. The settlement also includes a series of other measures, such as preventing Juul from using billboards to advertise in the state and preventing it from using models under age 35 in its advertising. Well, there's a lot of advertising going on this website. I can tell you that.
I don't have any on that on my one. I'm looking at the same page and none of that stuff come up on my.
Yeah, here's the difference between not having to sign up for a free subscription to a website and just being able to go to a website for free. This is the difference. The settlement said Juul denies any right. Of course they do. Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, anybody want to buy a drum set?
Hey, drums.
The settlement said Juul denies any wrongdoing and the allegations in the lawsuit, and that no part of the settlement shall constitute evidence of any liability, fault, or wrongdoing. I didn't do nothing. I didn't do it. Is that
you know what I find really impressive? What Keith Ellison, the Minnesota Attorney General, was like pretty adamant that they were not going to settle with Juul because he really wanted all of that, the discovery out in public, and then they settled. So it makes me think that like Juul really didn't do anything freaking wrong at this point. And then I'm still surprised that Juul hasn't gone hard, and with all the companies that were counterfeiting them.
Yeah,
and really shut them down because God, yeah, but I'll give them credit. I mean, you got to give Juul credit. They're still fighting. I mean, they're still. And I know they're PMT. I know like inside sources that, from what I understood, I didn't talk to anybody at Juul, but like all the people, that I know in the industry, their PMT was supposed to be one of the best PMTs actually submitted as far as having all the thorough evidence. And like everybody was shocked when they got a denial. Yeah. Everybody.
Do you think it's good for them? Maybe they still believe in their product. I get that. But do you think they also feel like they can grab that market again? If they can get back out there,
not unless they can bring flavored pods back.
Yeah.
And they have legal ones, but it's going to have to go in conjunction with the FDA and other groups actually shutting down all these other vapes. The market's just—they're going to have to somebody's going to have to figure out what to do with it. It's fun watching 100 freaking bills at the state level, and whether it's taxes, bans, registry bills, or whatnot. States are grappling with it.
Even if we were to get our way and we get flavors back, do you feel like Juul can grab that big portion of the market again with flavors?
No, the market's way too big now.
Yeah.
It ironically, I remember when it used to be like going in the C-stores and stuff. That's all you pretty much saw was Juul. There was maybe a little bit of Blue or maybe a little bit of Android, but Juul dominated the advertising space in the store, and their products were front and center. And so to me, it just felt like
Juul messed it up themselves too. I remember I got at Heartland, when I started writing about this, and it was 2018, 1 billion lives or whatever. And I was going around to all the vape shops, and then it was 2019. Heartland actually invited Tevi Troy, who was at Juul at that point, to do a webinar, a conference meeting or whatever and stuff event. And I was going around to all these friggin' vape shops. trying to, advertise this event. And this guy is screaming at me because it's a Juul. And yeah, he's selling Juul behind him. But I remember that all the vape shops are really against the technology, the pod technology and stuff. Oh, it's never going to work or whatnot. Juul came in and messed that all up. And then, everybody came out with a pod. And then now disposable, and just that's the way that it's been an evolving marketplace. We've come a long way from cigalikes.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Heck yeah, we've come a long way. Yeah. Well, I was gonna add to the thing is that now when I walk into the C stores, like the things that you see more up front and center are the disposables right up in the plexiglass case, right as you walk up to the counter. And it kind of blew me away at first because I just sort of rested in this mindset that like, like the C stores, the Quick Trips and the little gas station, food shop things, just are never going to sell that sort of stuff. And then I walk into them and I'm like, there's tons of them. There's just plenty of them sitting right there. And so I don't even think people think about Juul anymore. I mean, let alone the price tag. I mean, they were always.
It's still used though. I mean, half the time, man, that I'll get like, especially the generic picture of that pimply teenager with the chipped fingernails and stuff. They're still sharing that picture on a lot of places that just don't want to go pay AP, for an actual different photo. But it's one of those free images that you get off of, the free image place. I got to start thinking about that with building up THR 101 again. Crap, I might end up using that picture myself.
I think somewhere I still have one of those old ZB pod things that looked a little bit like
I still got two brand new ones sitting in a box with the pods.
My Sorens myself, because it's like I've been doing disposables for probably about the past month now, just because of convenience. It's just too high nick for me. Even when I was doing my Soren, I was using a 35. It's still high nick, but it's not the 55. It's like, I can tell that I'm making more than when so it's like, okay, it's just time to suck it up, go get your Sorens. You're gonna lose them anyway. So.
Yeah, I don't know who was making that tobacco flavor for ZampleBox on that pod, but that was one of the best tobaccos I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually.
That's what we should do, actually. Why didn't I think about it? I'm just going to start my own freaking disposable, get my warning letter, and then just shut it down and go do it all over again.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Put my face on there. We can do it together. We'll just be,
and find a U.S. manufacturer. You got to find a USA manufacturer.
A USA manufacturer, find some other people to help fucking seed some of it, and let's roll. I'll go around. This is my disposable for all of 1 month. The FDA shuts me down. I'll get a warning letter immediately.
I got 10,000 of them in a box in my garage.
Right over here.
Like, oh, Lindsey, what are you doing? Hey, I'm trying to make a quick buck too. I mean, they're gonna call me big tobacco. I might as well get in on it.
Might as well jump on there and make a couple $100,000 and step out. Okay, I guess I was wrong and walk away.
No, start it all up again. Oh,
wait a couple months, and then just hit the market.
Redo it all over again, different facility. Different business. I'll be starting up LLCs every other week. All right.
Just get a magic marker and just write version 2.0 on it, and then just keep changing to 3.0, 4.0.
Formulation. Oh, you didn't see? I changed that N and I put it into an M.
Yeah, there you go.
So did you have a fourth article, John, or only the three?
Hey, we have the.
I had one on the state legislation.
I'm waiting for that link. I found another article.
All four of them are in there, man. What did you smoke
know,
today?
John.
Wait a minute. I'll give it to you right now. I'll put it right there.
You smoke in Georgia before you go answer that online.
How many gummies did you have today, Timmy?
0.
Okay, it's the last one I just put in there. Vaping 360 News 8375 state legislation considering. Yeah, all right, bro.
Got it.
All right, bro.
Okay, hold on. Let me present.
Let me channel my inner Gen Z, bruh.
What's up, bruh? Right. Another wonderful pop up. Gotta love them. All right, March 12th, 2025. State legislators considering over 30 flavor ban and PMTA registry bills. Wonderful. Just what we need. More of the same. Until about 4 years ago, the primary type of legislation to restrict access to quality vaping products has been flavor bans, either prohibiting all flavors except tobacco or all except tobacco and menthol. Flavor bans are the laws preferred by tobacco control groups and anti-vaping public health organizations. In recent years, a second kind of law to restrict vape choices has been promoted by major tobacco companies, the PMTA registry law. Last year, more than 24 registry bills were introduced across the country. I remember that. Cassad's website was on fire.
Yeah, it was.
On fire. It was like 5 pages of calls to actions.
Yeah.
In 2025, so far, legislators have introduced registry or directory bills in at least 20 states and flavor ban bills, including bills that would ban flavored nicotine pouches in at least 8 states. Some bills have reached critical stages, like passing important committees after hearings or being passed by one or both houses of a state legislature. I can happily report that Georgia's died on the vine.
Died
on the vine. And
I'm going to sit here and say this is the part 2. I'm not going to sit here and call the state out, okay? But I was actually supposed to go up. I was supposed to be there yesterday. The minute my name got dropped for this vape directory bill, they moved the hearing. It was supposed to be next week. And then when they dropped my name again onto it, now they're not allowing full committee testimony. So they did a subcommittee, and now they're like, yeah, nobody can testify on that one. Well, the joke's on you and anybody who's watching this one, because now I'm just going up there and I'm going to meet behind the scenes with those lawmakers and really say what I feel about these ones and get to use colorful language.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Hey, no, it took me a while when I was at my previous job to even be able to go on the record against these, because I was just like, they're BS. I mean, and I was yelling at some of the other, right-wing think tanks or whatnot, like, you've been sitting here complaining about the PMT. Now you're having the states endorse this process. It's hypocritical at best. And also it just makes me like, really? I mean, I understand the whole thing. I get it with these companies. They spent billions of dollars to get FDA authorization. They got it, and they're losing out not only their cigarette sales, but also their e-cigarette sales. But at the same time, you're eliminating the whole entire market. So there is only a marketplace of combustible cigarettes and then e-cigarettes made by those same people selling combustible cigarettes. And I'm sorry. For companies that literally took a while to even step into the vaping game, and then for them to now come in and try to go sit here and really change the industry, get off our lawn. Sorry, I don't care about it. Like, I mean, I completely understand going after these. I completely get that one. But wiping out vape shops, wiping out the entire industry for the 3 products that have been authorized, that's not American.
No.
Actually, we're like in the 1800s when you're looking at our approach to tobacco harm reduction.
All right. No, I
Sorry.
totally agree with that. No, that's okay. No, the passion is there. That's what we love.
I'm right now, so.
There have also been some bills introduced that are positive for vape consumers. Well, please tell us. How do PMTA registry or directory laws work?
I know the positive bills that he just brought up are nicotine pouches and also heated tobacco taxes. And if you're watching those are all still tobacco bills. Like especially go look at some of the HTP bill taxes, because you're seeing like 2 of the companies that are competing. They're the same freaking thing. I mean, my biggest problem with this one is like, I got idiot lawmakers that are still talking about popcorn law, and you're going to go now them with heated tobacco? Like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, you were pushing the cart way before the horse, dude. God, sorry.
That's okay. So anybody who doesn't understand, hopefully we'll get a little bit of an education here. So how do PMTA registry or directory laws work? The 2 largest U.S. tobacco companies, Altria Group and R.J. Reynolds, have been active for the past 3 years promoting bills in state legislatures that create lists called registries or directories of vape products legal to sell. The laws mandate that a state's list can include only products already authorized by the FDA, along with products with timely filed pre-market tobacco applications still under FDA consideration, and sometimes products that have received marketing denial orders, which are being litigated in federal courts.
Like mother's milk.
Correct. Manufacturers must apply to include products on the state registry and must certify under penalty of perjury that products meet the state's requirements. They must usually pay a fee annually for each listed product. Not coincidentally, all FDA-authorized vape products are manufactured by companies owned by either Altria, Enjoy, Reynolds, Views, or Japan Tobacco Logic. Altria and Reynolds have been active promoting PMTA registry bills, which brings me back to, has anyone heard anything about the case that was submitted, or the lawsuit, effectively the one?
You're talking about the Supreme Court case? No.
No. Talking about the one that was basically saying that Altria and Reynolds broke the rules
Kentucky, they lost
the
it.
MSA. Yeah.
Oh, Montana, yeah, he lost it. But also, I mean, I don't. I mean, I love Ron Marshall. And again, I'm not a legal expert myself or a lawyer. I just didn't really think that there was a lot of merit on it. But it's also the same thing with the SCOTUS case. I don't think there's a lot of merit to the argument, at least legally sounding. The TCA is very, very broad.
Right.
And so a question of them overstepping their authorities, I think it's really hard to make that case, but I could be wrong. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong. But Montana, with the MSA, when I was reading through, because Montana was actually part of the MSA that was with like all of the states, right? They didn't have their own one. And so like the thing that tobacco companies couldn't do, they couldn't do anything that would lead to kids, using these products. So if you're actually eliminating the marketplace, they will it justifies that. Well, if there's less products, there's a less likelihood of kids getting access to it. But so that was my feelings on the registry bills. But the lobbying stuff too, as long as they're lobbying for laws that don't increase youth smoking, that's the whole big thing on the youth. Even though, don't get me started on the MSA. I mean, if you're going to go sue it for it, then start suing it for, like, people who smoke should be getting a portion of that coming back. They're the ones who are paying for it. This is supposed to be for healthcare insurance. Like, you sued, the state sued because of healthcare costs. There should be a special insurance fund for people who smoke to access that money, because that's why you're getting that money, is to treat those smoking related illnesses. It's not to prevent youth smoking. Right. That's not what you sued them. But again, not a legal expert, and I'm not about to go back to school.
States with Republican legislative majorities are the typical targets for tobacco industry lobbyists pushing registry bills, because GOP lawmakers, especially in the South, are generally more receptive to accepting campaign donations from the tobacco industry. That has changed somewhat this year. Registry bills have been introduced by Democratic legislators in several states, despite the preference of Democrats' tobacco control allies for flavor ban laws. 10 states have already passed PMTA registry laws. All have either already been enacted or will be in 2025. The first PMTA registry bills were passed in Alabama, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. Those laws are now in effect. Wisconsin passed a registry law in 2023, which takes effect July 1 this year. In 2024, tobacco lobbyists persuaded lawmakers in almost 30 states to introduce registry bills, and laws were passed in 6: Florida, Iowa, Kentucky, North Carolina, Utah, and Virginia. In Iowa and Utah, courts have temporarily held up implementation of the laws, but the other states have either already begun enforcing their registry laws or will soon. Florida has just begun conducting inspections and issuing fines. Flavor bans. Tobacco control's favorite vape restriction. Unlike registry laws, which allow the sale of all products authorized by the FDA, flavor bans prohibit the sale of all vaping products and flavors other than tobacco, or sometimes tobacco and menthol, even if they have FDA authorization. The Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids, which is the primary anti-vaping policy advocacy group in the U.S., believes that banning child-appealing flavors is the most important policy objective to prevent youth uptake of vapes and nicotine pouches. Nearly every successful state and local bill prohibiting flavored vapes has TFK fingerprints all over it. As an avowed enemy of the tobacco industry, TFK does not support legislation created by tobacco lobbyists like registry bills. But aside from the link to big tobacco, TFK objects to the registry laws' dependence on FDA regulation. If the FDA begins authorizing flavored products, tobacco control thinking goes, registry laws would allow the floodgates to open and a new and legal vaping Wild West to flourish. Because of TFK's long affiliation with Democratic politicians, TFK founder Matthew Myers was a Democratic congressional staffer Flavor ban bills have had the most success in Democrat-dominated states, although there are exceptions. 6 U.S. states that ban flavor vaping products: California, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New York, Rhode Island, and Utah. Flavored vapes are also banned in the District of Columbia and many cities, including Chicago, Denver, and Columbus, Ohio. Some existing bans also cover nicotine pouch flavors. Well, that's a shame, too.
Just as harmless as for, just as safer as nicotine replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Banning those flavors.
I just don't understand the hang up with flavors here. Kentucky and Rhode Island positive bills need support. 2 bills introduced in Kentucky would suspend the state's existing PMTA registry law, which passed last year and took effect in January 2025.
I don't know if both of them. I know one of them is waiting for the SCOTUS ruling, which I still think is like, no, just freaking cancel it. Don't suspend it. Cancel it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay. We can do that. We've repeal it. We've repealed prohibition. We've done it. There's history there. There's precedent.
Kentucky residents should contact their legislators and encourage passage of HB 62 and SB 269. In Rhode Island, companion bills H 5329 and S 543 would amend the state's current flavored vape ban to allow the sale of flavored products in vape shops only. H 5329 has been held up in committee, but S 543 remains active. CASA has issued a call to action allowing consumers to easily express support for this important bill. I just feel like that's a big piece of the pie. Like, keep the flavors, but put them in the appropriate shops.
Okay, and Lisa and I've talked about this. I'm sorry, I'm not for age-restricted stores, especially if the e-cigarettes are supposed to be less harmful than cigarettes, and you're going to restrict them to the store that you have to go to a special store to go get it. I mean, I'm sorry, it's stigmatizing. But cigarettes are still going to be there, and cigarettes are always going to be there. That lobby is not going freaking anywhere. So, I mean, when it comes to Rhode Island, saying that they already have a ban, then fine. But, for people who are looking at, when they're getting a PMTA registry bill or stuff, do not acquiesce until the freaking last hour. It is not over until it's actually over. I mean, vape shops have not just disappeared overnight in Louisiana as they're sitting here claiming. Now, there's going to be a lot of litigation. People are probably going to be losing a lot of money. And there's going to be some vape shops shut down. But I still think that one of the worst things that ever happened to this industry at a state level was that floor tax in Pennsylvania in 2016. That the 40% of that one did lead to 1/3 of shops actually shutting down because they couldn't afford to pay that tax bill. But Rhode Island, I'm not for age-restricted stores, but yes, I'm going to support that bill because technically they're not supposed to sell them anyways. But everybody is still selling them. See, that's the problem with like vape shops. If they're trying to do the right thing and play by the rules, they're getting undercut by C stores that even the C stores, what they'll do is they'll get busted and then they'll just go give it over to the license to their cousin. And then to their next cousin. I mean, they factor it in. I mean, like, it's kind of like drug dealers, okay? They factor in, that's like, oh, it's insurance for home when I get busted and I'm going to go to jail. Here's my bail money and everything. So, you're hoping for sunshine, preparing for rain.
Current active PMTA registry law and flavor ban bills. The list below, is sure it's long. The list below includes all currently active as of March 10th bills I could find that propose PMTA registry laws or flavor bans. Many also include other elements like licensing rules or taxes. This list does not cover bills that only propose taxes. I did not intentionally include bills that have already failed, but some of them probably have. Tracking programs like Legiscan, or is it Legiscan, are often several days.
Legiscan.
Legiscan. Is that a country? Is Legiscan a country?
It sounds like a country.
Yeah,
I think I spent a summer there.
I immigrated from Legiscan.
I'm gonna start calling it Legiscan now.
Are often several days behind, and some state legislatures have cutoff dates I'm not aware of. For example, in Hawaii, bills that had not reached the final committee in their house of origin by February 17th are considered dead. That rule eliminated multiple bills from this list, but one bill has survived. Many of the included bills have little chance of advancing, but some have the backing of powerful legislators or governors, or are priorities for tobacco industry or tobacco control lobbyists, and therefore are greater threats. It is usually those high threat bills that prompt a call to action from CASA. I have noted current CASA calls to action next to the bill number and description. Those bills, get your pens and pencils out, kids.
Get them out.
Those bills are most in need of responses from consumers. However, you don't have to wait for CASA to urge action. It is beneficial to contact your state legislators whenever a threatening bill appears, even before CASA issues a call to action. In fact, there is no reason to not contact state representatives and legislators proactively to let them know that you oppose any restrictions on effective harm reduction products. Offer yourself as a resource if they have questions, and try to stay in touch. Many bills have been stopped before they saw the light of day, thanks to personal contacts between vaping advocates and legislators or legislative staffers. So I'll just skip to the list. It does mention companion bills are listed together. All right, so Arizona, it's a registry. So you got SB 1272 passed Senate on the 12th and passed Senate committee on the 17th. Arkansas, SB 252, another registry, referred to committee as of February 25th. Georgia, Georgia. I better get busy. We got a registry, March 6th, passed House.
Actually, yeah, I thought it did go through.
Yeah, it's sent to Senate.
I took 2 weeks off, so monitoring state legislation, when you're underemployed, wasn't really, it's on my to-do list.
Right. I'll follow up on that one. Hawaii, HB 756, which is a flavor ban, January referred to committee, February 28th passed second committee, February 28th passed House, March 4th referred to Senate committee. So that one's trucking along. Idaho, HB 244 registry, March 12th, bill is probably dead. Illinois, SB 2231 registry, February 25th, assigned to committee. Bunch of them here. Illinois has always sort of like been where the hammers fall. HB 30.
Actually, what I'm really surprised now while we're just going through all this, I mean, yeah, you're seeing all the registry bills, but that's coming from tobacco. Okay, so then some of them are going to be easy to kill, especially in like anyone that's got a Democrat controlled majority. Mm-hmm. But I'm surprised still that I have not seen as many flavor bans. Like I'm still waiting for. I know Connecticut dropped a flavor ban, but it hasn't gone anywhere yet. I'm waiting for Minnesota, Vermont, like all of the usual suspects that are usually Delaware, Maryland, and I still haven't seen them. I mean, I'm like, okay, what's going on with this? Like I don't think the appetite is 100% there anymore. Especially like I know the states are dealing with budgets.
Right.
But sorry to interrupt.
No.
Illinois, Illinois is home to, U.S. Senator Dick Durbin and Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy. So, I mean, and they're doing the federal fight and everything. And you've seen, some of I think there's several localities that besides Chicago that have banned flavored vapes.
Right.
So, and now you're talking about Chicago. I mean, they did the soda, but they did the soda tax, friggin' and another Bloomberg-backed initiative that like they had to go walk it back. That's how much the public vitriol was on that one. Bloomberg's groupie actually told them though, went to it was the county that did it. It was actually Cook County. They ended up Bloomberg. It was on record that he's like, we will fund your entire campaign next year if you vote in favor of this. And then you have the Illinois residents that are like, yeah, Bloomberg, get the hell off of our lawn. We don't need this billionaire telling us like what we can and cannot do.
Exactly. Where were we? HB 3191. So aside from registry, they also have flavor ban on the table. February 18th referred to committee. March 11th assigned to committee. And then you have HB 2634 requires manufacturers to certify the products that meet registry-like requirements.
It's registry-like.
Feb 6 referred to committee. March 4th assigned to committee. In Indiana. HB 1650 registry January 21 referred to committee. Maryland, 2 of them, 918 and companions, right? SB 918 and HB 1441 registry February 27. SB 19 committee hearing February 25th.
I feel like we need music to this, John.
What's that? Are you music?
Music, like the techno music, do.
Like the Jaws theme or something.
I think I have.
good, actually.
Mississippi, I was just there not that long ago. HB 916 is a registry. January 29 passed House, March 6 passed Senate with amendment, and March 12 sent back to the House for concurrence. I concur, Doctor. I concur, Doctor.
I concur.
Doctor, I concur. I concur, Doctor.
I concur.
Missouri, HB 276 registry.
Missouri.
Mizzou, good old Mizzou.
They got a really nice Jefferson City's. That's a really nice capital, and I went there one time with Harlan and was hanging out with the lawmaker. I was actually able to go up on the dome and go outside it. I was afraid nightmare climbing up all those steps in heels. And I did it twice. And I was still sitting at that time. I was very impressed with myself. It's like, let me go.
That's awesome.
That's a hell of a view, though. So yeah,
I've never
fun.
I don't think I've ever been to Missouri. Montana, HB 525 registry plus 50% wholesale tax on nic-containing vapes. Here's the CSA call to action. This is a good link to put out there in the chat, John. Or just, I'm sure most of this is on CSA's.
Yeah, it's on CSA. I can put the CSA banner on.
Feb 27 House amends bill to add tax and passes committee. Nebraska, LB, they had to have different letters. LB 285, flavor ban, call to action, February 24, committee hearing. Nevada,
Silver State.
Yep.
Sorry, I know all these dumb facts about states. All right, so I'm going to be interrupting you and giving them their nickname.
No, I remember as a kid, my mom used to try to get me to remember all the capitals, and I can't.
Capitals, what is Nevada, Reno?
There you go. AB 279 registry, February 24, referred to committee. New Jersey,
Trenton, and the Garden State.
There you go. A 1810 S 1947 bans flavored nicotine pouches. Why?
Bastards.
Really? New Mexico, HB 268.
Land of Enchantment and Santa Fe.
There you go. Nice job. HB 268 registry, February 4th, referred to committee. New York.
Albany.
A273 doesn't create a registry, but would ban all non-FDA authorized vapes. January 8 referred to committee. A bunch of them here. A4593 and S902 registry. Both bills referred to committees. A141 and S443 bans flavored nicotine pouches. Both bills referred to committees. A4999 and S3196 flavor ban on all tobacco products, including nicotine pouches. Both bills referred to committees. God, man, I just can't get a break in New York, man. Ohio,
Buckeye State, Columbus.
Yes, lived in Sandusky for 5 years. My dad worked for Cedar Point. Ohio.
Cedar Point's so fun. I'm more of a Six Flags person, but.
It was cool because my dad worked there. We used to
get free rides all the time. You probably got to skip all the lines too, everything.
The blue streak all the time. Ohio.
That's the only way to do a theme park.
HB 96 flavor ban, February 12th, referred to committee. Oregon.
Salem and the Beaver State.
Not a spice. SB 702 flavor ban, CSA call to action, Jan 17, referred to committee. March 4, committee hearing held. HB 3559 registry, February 20, referred to committee. Man, the list is long. South Carolina, SB 287.
Columbia. Sorry.
No. I like this is awesome. So because people are getting an education at the same time. SB 287 registry, March 11 passed committee. HB 3728 registry, January 15th.
What happened?
He froze.
Timmy froze. I
can't. No, I don't think any of us could move it. It's on his screen, right?
Timmy.
Because my glasses are powerful. They're only blue light glasses.
It South Dakota.
There you
know that one? I don't know that one. All right, we're back. We're back. I don't know what happened. There was a frog in my internet. HB is South Dakota.
Rushmore State and Pierre.
Very good. HB 1069 registry, CSA call to action. Feb 10 passed House, sent to Senate. March 4, bill tabled, currently inactive, but that could change.
Yeah.
Tennessee.
You're the only 10 I see.
Hell yeah. That's my line.
But the volunteer state in Nashville.
I have yet to I have yet to go to Nashville. So
have you been to Austin?
No.
Oh, well, if you go to Austin and you go to Nashville, they're pretty much the same. It's funny because, yeah, Texas is the next one. I swear to God, they are the same city. You got 6th Street in Austin, and then you got Broadway Street in Nashville, and those are like the party, you know, where all the bars at. The only difference between it is in Austin, you'll hear rap music when you're walking down Broadway. In Nashville, all you're hearing is rock and roll and a lot of country music. But I swear to God, there's like a highway that goes through it. There's a college and a Capitol on one side of it, and then there's like downtown on the other side of this highway. There's a river, I think, that go through both of them. I know the one in Austin's really big, but yeah. Swear to God, freaking town.
I'll probably do the Nashville trip first, just because I think that caters a little bit more to my musical style, and I have friends that.
Oh, and they're older people too. Nashville tends to be more of an older crowd.
Just my crowd.
Young. Yeah,
just my crowd. Tennessee SB 763 and HB 968 registry plus tax, 7 cents per milliliter on closed products and 10% wholesale on open products. A lot going on here. Feb 10, HB 968 referred to committee. Feb 12, SB 763 referred to committee. February 25th, SB 763 passed committee, referred to second committee. Good God. How many committees do you need?
Hey, that's the bill I was talking about. So, okay. They're not having fun with that one. Especially if you're looking, because that's the registry bill, and you know who's backing it. You've got North Carolina and Virginia that have both passed it. So that's like the one state between them. That, and especially Tennessee, they got some of the highest rates of smoking. But as I told the president, I was just like, the Tennessee smoke-free president, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be damned if like one of the highest, so like one of the states that has some of the highest rates of smoking is gonna be held hostage to this. I'm sorry, right. No. You've done good over the past few years fighting off. We're gonna still keep that battle going.
Nice. What else? So they're on to second committee. March 10th, 968 passed committee, referred to second. March 18th, SB 763 scheduled for consideration in a second committee. There's still Tejas, Texas, SB 1182.
This is the Lone Star State, Austin.
Yes. Well, I'm not a Dallas fan, so don't get me started on that one. SB 1182 flavor ban, Feb 28 referred to committee. Now here we got Washington.
They have the registry bill there too. I just don't know the number on it. Washington is the evergreen state, and their capital is Olympia.
HB 1203, SB 5183 flavor ban, CASA call to action. A lot. Let's just go down the list. Referred to committee, committee hearing. So we're at February 21st, HB 1203 passed committee.
Be right back. I got a phone call.
And to kind of explain to other people who are watching this right now, if you notice with Washington, you see that those two bills are kind of together. And if you notice it with Tennessee, what some of these state legislatures will do is they'll bring a bill into one house and they automatically have a companion bill. So that's why there's two bills, and that's where the battle gets a little bit wonky, because when they do that, something's going to pass, unfortunately.
Well, what's the purpose of the attached bills? I mean, what makes them uniquely
companion
different?
Bill, you pretty much get to copy and paste all the whole bill, but the only thing is, the only difference is the sponsor. And then you have to be a senator to, bring a bill into the Senate, and you got to be a, representative to bring a bill into the House. So right. I think Tennessee automatically does companion bills. As you can see, Washington State doesn't. But that's when they're tag teaming it. You got twice the chances of making it win. And that's also for us that are fighting it, twice the chances of killing it.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing, especially when you got multiple bills moving.
What also is too, I mean, it's also a game too. Like a lot of this different, when you're looking at a bill, like depending on what committee it gets thrown into, can make it or break it on this bill. Especially depends on who the chair is. I mean, a lot of the stuff when it happens at the committee level is really at the discretion of the chair. I mean, I've seen some states where they just killed bills by just refusing to hear them.
Right.
Yeah. Hold on, Tim. I just sent you a message. I just got called in to work early, so you're going to have to end the show. Lindsay, thank you for coming. I got to run. Michelle, thank you. Everybody in chat, thank you.
Relevant right now, making sure you don't wither away like you old men.
I know. I can never say no. That's my problem when it comes to work.
My problem. too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly.
All right, Tim, you
All
can
right.
end the show. All right,
Yeah.
thank you again, Lindsay. I'll talk to you soon.
I think we can make it 12 more minutes, John. I think
Yes,
we'll
you
be all
can.
right with
All
us.
right. All right, buddy. Bye.
All right, don't worry. The list goes on, folks. I mean, we're not. I mean, I'm only like basically halfway through the page. So just write these things down or take note of these things if they impact your immediate state. I mean, obviously, we can't really do too much for outside in another state, but all these are important. So I dare to say, I don't know how much leverage we truly have, but if you make your voice active, at least that's a success.
If you're in these states, you need to be contacting your lawmaker every single freaking day. Okay, I mean, they technically work for you. You're paying taxes towards their salaries. Some of them actually have a real salary, unlike the state representative who joined us earlier in New Hampshire that they make $100 a year and everything. But I mean, I go always to the Shawshank Redemption and Andy Dufresne, when he's writing to get the funds for the library, and then after I think it's like 5 years, they finally give him money. Please quit writing us. I'm gonna write him 2 letters in a week now.
Exactly. Yeah, I think it's about persistence, and we've talked about this before. Yeah, we've talked about this in past shows, and that there's just sort of that I don't want to call it a phenomenon, but I mean it's just sort of like advocacy burnout. So I know that there's a lot of people that want things to change, and I think there's enough people collectively to keep speaking out.
Yeah, and it's okay to take some time off. I mean, I had other personal things going on that were like, made that happen. But that's always good. You can always sit there and say, I can't do this. Okay. There's enough of us that are willing to help out and pick up the ball. I mean,
Oh, exactly. Yeah. It just seemed like, a lot of people, there was a lot of effort in the beginning. And then I think people just get I think the reason why people get exhausted with it mostly is because it's like being that door-to-door salesman and you knock on 500 doors and 495 of them, reject you. It
really hard not to feel like Willie Loman and this.
Exactly.
If anybody knows Death of a Salesman, but also Eval, I really screwed everybody up too. And I can tell you, I mean, I got really upset when I was like reading an op-ed, from 9 years ago. And I'm like, oh my God, you're saying the same freaking thing. And what's the definition of insanity?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And God, when I start using American football references, this is a really big problem and analogy. But yeah, I mean, for the 9 years that I've been here, it seems that we're dancing in the end zone. We were celebrating when the other team fumbles, even though they're literally 5 yards away from our end zone, and we have yet to even get any yards in. I mean, I'd be at this point okay with even a field goal. I'll be okay if we just get past that like halfway line and stuff and start collecting more yards.
Right.
Or downs or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. I'm not an American football fan, but when I have to start using these references, things are bad.
Well, that's true. I think it's very relative. I mean, in the sense that, it paints some reality of the situation, but, but you just have to stay persistent and keep speaking.
Yeah.
That's the one thing.
Yeah.
Where were we? HB 1534 referred to committee hearing February 20, past committee referred to second committee. Oh, and then there's another one that has no activity yet. SB 5526, just registry bill. West Virginia.
Mountain State and Charleston is their capital, not that Charleston that most of you guys are thinking in South Carolina.
Now, my brother graduated from West Virginia University. He's a mountaineer.
Mountaineer.
Yeah.
The Mountain
Years.
You guys start noticing, like, if you think of what the college team is, and there's a good chance that might actually be what the nickname of the state is. The Buckeyes, for example.
SB 93 registry, Feb 12 referred to committee. HB 2883, also a registry bill, February 24th referred to committee, March 7th referred to second committee. So we need your help. If you're aware of currently active bills I've missed or important updates to the ones listed here or new bills introduced since the list was published, please contact me at, there you go, there's Jim's email.
I want to give Jim a shout out for that. I know that it's not easy to actively monitor legislation without tracking software. So that's pretty thorough freaking list. And also to have the updates of where it's actually located at, in committee. That's way to go, Jim. That's good work.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Well, I mean, it's nice to know kind of the progress of these things and where we're at. Matter of fact, he opened my eyes. I was really sort of unaware that there was anything happening in Georgia. I thought that it didn't make it out of committee or didn't make it out of the session that closed at the end of the year. So I thought it was pretty much a done deal. So I've got my home.
Last year, no, this is this year's. Yeah, they killed it last year, but this is new legislation. It's all fresh.
Right. It's all starting over again.
Yep, we got to go through.
I got a stupid question.
Yeah.
How many committees do they actually have for each bill? Or how many times can it go back, be referred back?
Depends on the state. Like Hawaii.
Is that what it is? I've never really understood.
Depends on the state. Like I've seen some, most states only have one committee. It also kind of depends on the bill too. And they let's say it's like a Medicaid bill or something and a tax thing on it. It's going to go through the Health and Human Service, whatever committee on that one. Then it's also going to go through a finance committee and stuff. Now, Hawaii goes through like freaking 3 committees at least every single year.
That's what I never understood. Yeah, because it always seemed to change on me. And it's like, just when I thought I got it, it was like, wait, why is this happening?
Yeah, it tends to depend on what the bill is about. And yeah, it's going to go to all their applicable committees that that it's going to touch on and everything. So
thank you. But
then again, the stuff with Tennessee, like they killed, like they did the subcommittee hearing, but and then they were supposed to go to a full committee when well, I guess Lindsey Stroud, I guess she's such a big threat or something, because they friggin' killed all public testimony for the main committee. So I mean, hey, I'll take it. And this one, I mean, that bill's not dead yet, so I can't really go start doing my victory dance, like and everything. But I'm glad to know, and I know probably why it is. They have no idea what I'm going to sit here and say,
Yeah,
I appreciate the
F-bomb and go viral. Like, I'm sorry, Mr. Lawmaker, but are you effing kidding me right now?
It's just I mean, it's just frustrating to see that there's this much activity around trying to kind of shut down vaping altogether. It's just sad to have to go through these iterations.
No, trying to shut down independent vaping. The technology's not going away. You're not seeing any of these companies, we're getting rid of our vaping, our vaping development. No, if anything, they're probably investing more into that R&D on that segment of their product portfolios. But what I think you're watching, if you're looking at from an outsider's perspective and just looking at, especially in the States, but looking globally, you're watching like these international companies that are in a race themselves, to be the first company that sit there and say that 51% of our products are smoke free. Which, I mean, I applaud them for doing it. I don't think that, tobacco should be restricted from being able to provide these, products. And heck, if you're looking at the way that we treat other, harmful products, you actually have governments that are mandating that you only make safer products. Look at electric vehicles in California, for example. I'm not for that. I'm more of a free market person. I'm not going to sit here and tell companies what they can and cannot do. But at the same time, I'm not really okay with companies using state governments to knock out their market competition. This is America. We don't need the government to determine, actually the American public will make this. And that's the thing. Look at vaping. It was consumer-driven revolution. Han Lick created the modern e-cigarette, and then the Americans, vapors, and all this stuff, and all the technology that came out from especially once 2012 to 2016. I mean, I remember the good old days of going to the vape conventions and stuff, and just seeing people who were really excited about this product that they created and everything, and help people remain smoke-free and stuff. And guess what? They never sold cigarettes. So it wasn't like we're trying to get them while they're coming and going.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. A lot of these legislators are, horse blinded in a lot of ways. I mean, they're kind of focused down to one particular element of it all, and they just fail to see the bigger picture. They don't even really understand the industry at all. So they have a very myopic view of everything that's out there. I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, they can't really use the kid argument too strongly much anymore. Just seeing the dramatic drop in vape products being used by the youth. And I think that's why I think their attention should shift back more towards the adult market and try to get inside on that and try to understand exactly why it is that all of us took it up in the first place. And so, the stories have been lost to their ignorance. And I think that's, for me, one of the biggest disappointing elements of it all. So instead,
actually, they were always just stories. I just wrote an op-ed. I don't want to give it too much because somebody else's name's going on it, but I mean, I was looking at it and it's just like, you had like Tom Frieden back at the CDC in 2014 calling the people who had used e-cigarettes to quit smoking anecdotes.
Well, right.
Yeah, I remember that campaign. I'm just an anecdote or whatnot. And then it's funny because now, I mean, I sat there in a hearing earlier this year and it was like some 13-year-old that was doing an anecdote about his fucking homie, or sorry, his freaking homie. And it's like, wait, this kid is like narking on some like unnamed kid right now, and that's not considered an anecdote, but some guy who came in here and like said I quit smoking, and that person's right there, and you can question them. Right. Last time I checked, if you were in court and did something like that, that would be called hearsay, and that would be stricken from the record, and the jury would be informed to disregard that. Not there. And if you're an Oompa Loompa, you're okay. You're right.
Yeah, we need a Wonka vape factory and go down. Well, Michelle, I'll spare you. We won't have a river of mango.
Really get on the
Thank you.
Hey, I've been hanging out in that tunnel for so freaking long, and now I'm going into the.
I don't know which way it's going. All I know is that your vapes are showing. Anyway.
God, what a freaky scene when you were a kid.
Vapidee-doo. I've got another disposable for you.
God, the Oompas are scary too, man. I didn't know that.
I'm just going to paint myself orange and get a green wig later. Well, kids, that brings us to the end of the show. We muscled through the 12 minutes of John's absence. I just want to say a big personal thank you to everybody that was on the panel this evening. Lindsey, thank you for being here. Love the colorful commentary and the education lesson on the state motto and the state capital. It was a wonderful, wonderful refresher. Michelle, always wonderful to have you here. John, thank you for all you do. But more importantly, thank you to all 45 people who are still on the stream and watching the show. We thank from our hearts everybody that comes here week after week after week and joins in the conversation with us, lets us know that your hearts are in the right place, and we all want the right thing to happen at the end of this tunnel. So keep that spirit, keep fighting for vaping, and we'll move on to next week. Unfortunately, I have to announce I won't be present for next week's show. My wonderful wife and I are going to go see the one and only Rick Springfield, who I think is 70 something years old now. So we're going to take a trip to Macon to go watch Rick rock out and enjoy Jesse's Girl. So we're going to do that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful show next week. Once again, thank you, everybody. Take a look in the camera.
Love y'all.
And say goodnight. Good night, everybody. Have a wonderful evening. Hold on. You know what? I screwed up. Let me hit the outro. Here we go. Play. Oh, no. How do you play it? How do you play it? I'm clicking on it. It won't let me play it. All right. Well, we'll just do this one. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.